Just can I get a reaction to this group of parents of autistic kids who are saying that this framework took 5 years and it is incredibly disappointing that it doesn't provide concrete solutions for care or treatment?
I get it. You know, I can't imagine, I can't imagine because I talk in my own riding and others about how frustrating it's been to be a parent of children with autism. And they're wanting us to move as fast as we can, and that's exactly what they should do. It's not their job to congratulate us on the progress we're making. It's their job to push us to move as fast and as far as we can. Look, the framework and the strategy that we announced are a really important first step, and I was very careful not to hold it out as more than that. It gives us the compass and the map of where we need to go. And it means that provinces and the federal government and territories have to do everything that's contained in that strategy and in that framework to really materially change the lives of both the people living with autism and their families who have carried way too much. And I fully acknowledge that. So I validate their frustration. I understand it, and we're going to keep meeting it with action. If I were in their shoes and that was my family, then it wouldn't be enough for me either. So I understand their frustration.
But action, the framework does not set aside any dollar amount to change things specifically, and that is their big concern. So why not have a framework that ties some money to it? I understand that healthcare is a provincial jurisdiction, but we've seen the federal government put dollars forward for healthcare issues that it feels strongly about. So why not with autism?
Well, I think, first of all, we put forward the framework and the strategy, and that clearly demonstrates the responsibility of the provinces and the territories and the federal government in this. And we indicated that we need to see in the future that be funded by provinces, territories, and the federal government. So there's nothing about announcing the strategy or framework that precludes that. But we thought it was incredibly important after all of the stakeholder work, after everything that was done, to really lay that map and compass out. So that we would allow the folks that you're talking about to be able to positively advocate and say, this is specifically what needs to be done. This is what we're asking for each level of government to produce.
But
it is a responsibility. It is a responsibility, if I could just take it back for a second, for there to be pressure on provinces here. You know, I think that there is, you can point across the spectrum on health or you name the issue, and we're taking responsibility and we're pushing in even areas that are principally provincial jurisdiction. And I don't mind that. I don't mind taking heat because I think that's what people expect. They don't want to hear that this about jurisdiction. But what I'm saying is that we are continuing to take action in all of these areas, including autism. There's more to be done. There's nothing that what we've done that precludes additional action, but we thought it was incredibly important to get that framework and strategy out.
Okay, but just one more, sorry. But the timeline, there is no timeline there. And they say that there have been multiple consultations, frameworks, strategies. They want to see dollar amounts and they want to see changes in how people with autism are treated and cared for. So what is the timeline here?
Well, I'm with them. And you know what I said when we announced the framework and the strategy is there's more to come. This is the starting line, not a finishing line. I didn't try to hold this out as more than what it is. It's an incredibly important first step. It gives us a clear path forward, and we have more to say in coming days.
Monsieur Holland, je veux vous parler du caucus. Avez-vous vu la fameuse lettre qui demande la démission de Monsieur Trudeau? Et vous, qu'est-ce que vous pensez qui doit être fait actuellement là, de la part de Monsieur Trudeau?
J'ai pas vu la lettre, mais il y a des personnes qui m'ont dit, comme vous, qu'il y a une lettre qui existe. Mais c'est pour moi, c'est essentiel de travailler ensemble. Et c'est essentiel avec un monde aussi difficile que le monde d'aujourd'hui, avec des enjeux qui sont vraiment complexes, de prendre notre action et nos efforts pour les solutions. Et alors, peut-être il y a une lettre, j'ai jamais vu ça, mais c'est ma préoccupation et l'assurance médicalement, les soins bucco-dentaires, l'action pour notre système de santé. Ça, c'est les priorités pour moi et de prendre d'action. Et il y a trop de bruit, il y a trop d'inquiétudes politiques ici au Parlement. Et quand je parle avec les personnes dans les portes, dans n'importe quelle part de Canada ou Québec, les personnes veulent les solutions et les actions, pas les politiques.
Mais il va y avoir quand même des grandes discussions là, ce mercredi au caucus. Est-ce que c'est nécessaire, ces discussions-là?
Il y a une grande conversation chaque mercredi, ça c'est normal. Et particulièrement avec des enjeux aussi complexes que les situations actuelles. Alors, comme d'habitude, il va y avoir une bonne discussion avec beaucoup d'énergie, avec les priorités pour le pays. Et ça, c'est quelque chose de normal.
Est-ce que quand vous voyez des candidatures peut-être qui se dessinent, là, comme Mme Clark déjà à la succession, est-ce que vous avez l'impression que l'aide doit venir de l'extérieur là, à ce moment-ci?
Oui, c'est bon qu'il y a des personnes qui veulent devenir une chef de notre parti. C'est un bon signe de la fortesse de notre parti et les priorités pour nous de gagner la prochaine élection. Et ça, c'est bon pour moi. C'est une bonne chose d'avoir des autres voix et d'avoir une partie aussi grande que ça avec des personnes avec un intérêt de partager leurs idées. Ça, c'est bon.
C'est encore le temps pour M. Trudeau de rester pour vous?
C'est pour moi, j'ai beaucoup de respect pour M. Trudeau. Et pour moi, c'est quelqu'un qui, pendant la pandémie, pendant les périodes après la pandémie, qui est là pour le Canada. Et c'est un travail énormément difficile chaque jour, avec beaucoup de personnes qui attaquent M. Trudeau chaque jour. Mais j'ai énormément de respect pour lui et toute la confiance dans son leadership.
Can I just get you in English quickly on that? Have you seen the letter? Have you signed it?
Look, I haven't seen the letter. You guys talk about a letter. But look, I've gone through this a whole bunch of different times, the ups and downs of political machinations. It's, I was indoors knocking in the Niagara region as I was going there at the Dental Hygienist Conference. I had a chance to knock on doors, just talk to people outside of my own riding. And they're worried about their health system. They're worried about the state of the world. They want to know, well, I'm coming to that, but they want to hear about solutions. I didn't have, people bringing up the leadership of our party. I have people who, for sure, they're upset about the Prime Minister or this or that. But one of the things that I say to them is, look, this is the toughest job in the world. This is a guy who day after day after day gets attacked and punched and denigrated and, and he just steps up every day with the interests of the heart and the interests of the country in his heart. And I have enormous amount of respect for him, the guy who showed up through the pandemic, the guy who's showing up through these incredibly difficult times in the world. Look, there's no incumbent government that's got it easy. The easy thing for him to do would be to walk away, right? But the challenges are too big. And I think the reason he stays is because he believes he's the right person for these times. And I believe that too.
Thanks for stopping.
Thanks so much.
Des députés qui réclament le départ de M. Trudeau.
On aura la chance de discuter de ça mercredi. Moi, ce que j'ai dit, on devra avoir une discussion à l'interne pour être sûr qu'on regagne le momentum. Moi, c'est ça qui m'intéresse, pour être sûr qu'on puisse continuer à livrer pour les Canadiens. La meilleure façon de le faire, c'est vraiment de se concentrer sur les enjeux des Canadiens. Comme je dis, on devra se parler ensemble dans le caucus, définir une voie ensemble. Et ensuite de ça, avec le premier ministre, continuer parce que ce qu'on doit faire, c'est regagner.
Mais c'est pas un appui très fort à M. Trudeau.
Il devrait y avoir.
Oui, là, si on doit se parler.
Non, mais ce que je dis, l'appui à M. Trudeau, il est là, mais je pense que c'est normal qu'on puisse prendre le temps d'écouter ceux qui ont des choses à dire. Ensuite de ça, on va travailler ensemble pour aller de l'avant, pour regagner le momentum, puis gagner la confiance des Canadiens. C'est comme ça que ça fonctionne.
Vous allez leur parler à ces gens-là qui sont...
écoutez, c'est pas moi, ils s'expriment librement, ces gens-là.
Non, mais vous, est-ce que vous allez essayer de les convaincre en tant que
écoutez, ces gens-là vont s'exprimer. Comme je dis, ça se fera au caucus. Tout va se faire dans l'ordre, comme on fait toujours les choses.
Est-ce que ça devrait passer par un vote? Je sais que vous n'adhérez pas au...
Je vous ai dit, je vous vois plus tard.
Tell us about this letter that's going around your caucus right now.
We'll have time to discuss that.
What do you expect Wednesday? Do you think a minority or a majority of MPs will call for the PM to be
What belongs to the caucus belongs to the caucus.
I'm not asking what happened. I'm asking what do you think is the majority or a minority of opinion?
What belongs to the caucus belongs to the caucus.
It's not. I'm asking you. Do you think
you have confidence in the PM?
Doesn't sound like you have a majority.
À partir d'eux autres, moi, j'ai jamais vu la lettre. Jamais passé une demande de signature ou de lire une lettre.
On ne vous a pas approché du tout.
Non, à titre de président du caucus du Québec, j'aurais pu la partager avec le caucus, mais...
Est-ce que des membres vous en ont parlé?
Non.
Non, personne
pas du tout. Pas du tout. C'est seulement que les journalistes qui m'en parlent. Moi, j'ai aucune idée de cette lettre-là.
Mais sentez-vous, à titre de président justement du caucus québécois, est-ce que vous sentez le caucus québécois uni derrière M. Trudeau? Vous pensez qu'il y en a là-dedans qui ont signé cette fameuse lettre que vous n'avez pas vue?
Je ne peux pas présumer qui aurait signé. J'ai pas vu la lettre. Je ne sais même pas si la lettre existe en seulement. Moi, ce que je peux vous dire, c'est qu'il y a eu des bonnes discussions au caucus du Québec et on a sorti ensemble, là, pour supporter notre premier ministre, et puis je n'ai pas entendu parler de cette lettre.
Mais vous êtes convaincu que tout le monde appuie M. Trudeau, que tout le monde veut que M. Trudeau reste en place au caucus du Québec?
Ce qui s'est passé au caucus du Québec reste au caucus du Québec, mais je peux vous dire qu'on a une force au Québec d'être unis. On est là pour notre gouvernement, on est là pour faire avancer nos circonscriptions, et jamais j'ai entendu parler de cette lettre-là.
C'est quoi la stratégie pour mercredi quand le leadership va être remis en question?
Do you want the Prime Minister to leave?
Anything I have to say about this, I'm going to save for sharing with my colleagues on Wednesday.
Do you still have confidence in the Prime Minister?
Anything?
And that's an easy one.
Well, I have great confidence in him, absolutely.
So you think he should stay on as leader?
That's something I'm going to save till Wednesday.
Have you seen the letter at this point?
No.
Still haven't.
Nope.
Has anyone approached you about it?
Huh?
Has anyone approached you about it?
I can't say, to be honest with you. There's been a lot of, obviously, chatter, amongst the group, but a lot of sort of indirect stuff. It's dynamic and it's very nuanced, actually, much more than one would think. It's not like an on-off switch here. So.
What are those nuances?
Well, again, I'm going to save that for Wednesday, guys.
Would you be willing to sign a letter if they came to you?
That's all speculation.
What do you hope gets resolved Wednesday? Did you sign the letter to ask the Prime Minister to step down?
No comment.
Why no comment?
Oh, a whole bunch of reasons, mostly political, but no comment.
What do you think about what's going on, though? And what do you think about the movement that seems to be there?
I'm going to buy a big bag of popcorn and some pop and watch the show, just like all of you.
Do you still
And my other comment is this. As a former emergency room doctor, if the blood's not squirting on the ceiling, it's not an emergency.
Do you think that's what's going to happen on Wednesday?
The blood will not be squirting on the ceiling over there.
In this scenario, what's the blood?
I think my statement is complete in itself. But thank you.
Do you
Enjoy the show.
Resolved on Wednesday?
Did you sign the letter?
That letter.
You gotta love it.
Did you sign the letter?
No.
Have you seen the letter?
No.
Do you have confidence still in the Prime Minister?
The only time I ever learned about any of this stuff is from you guys. So I haven't seen anything, don't know anything, and I'm certainly not going to comment.
You don't have. Do you have confidence in the Prime Minister?
Mr. Naqvi, can you talk about your fellow MP Liberal MPs wanting the PM to step aside?
Do you want to?
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are very clear. I've said it publicly. I support the Prime Minister. Justin Trudeau is doing some really important hard work when it comes to building economy and making sure that we have a bright future for the country. Our focus, what I hear from my constituents is that our fight is with Pierre Poilievre. His politics is dangerous, his policies are reckless, he has no vision for the country. If anything, he wants to take us back. That's what we need to really focus on and make sure that Canadians have a very clear choice when we go into the next election.
What do you think about what you're...
The Liberals are not doing well in the polls. The Canadians are dissatisfied. Do you have concerns about the leadership of the Liberal Party with that in mind?
Our job is to make sure that we are focused on the well-being of Canadians. Let me finish. I'll be very honest with you. I personally don't pay that much attention to the polls and get swayed by them every single day. I spend a lot of time knocking on doors in my community. And when I hear people talking about issues around affordability, when I talk about making sure that they have good health care, doesn't matter whether it's a federal issue or provincial issue, that's where the focus is for the people. And jobs of government, all governments, all three orders of government, is to respond to those issues. It has to be the focus.
What do you think about what your colleagues are doing, trying to push out Mr. Trudeau right now?
So first of all, just like what Mr. McKay was saying, all my information on that front is coming from what I read in the media. Nobody has approached me. Nobody has spoken to me about this. So it's what I know is what you are reporting. I don't if your reporting is correct, which I have no doubt and no reason to doubt, I don't agree with that approach. I've been very clear over the weekend and before that in terms of the work that we need to do as elected representatives. This is not where I want to waste my energy.
What do you think about why do you say?
Have you talked to some of your colleagues that do have concerns about the Prime Minister, and if so, what did you say to them?
Well, first, I don't talk about caucus deliberations because I think that's those conversations are sacrosanct. So I'm not going to engage in that. But we live in a democracy, and of course we have views, and those are robust conversations. That's to be encouraged. That's a good thing. We're none of our are robots who say the same thing. And I think those conversations are best to have in a confidential manner so that we can respect each other and listen to each other's point of view. Thank you.
What are your expectations for Wednesday? Or do you think we should be
my expectation on Wednesday is to have a robust conversation as we do on every caucus meeting. I don't know what we're trying to settle here, right? I mean, I know what my focus is. My focus is to work on behalf of my constituents. That's the conversation I want to have in the caucus meeting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is a conversation, as I just mentioned, in caucus. We need to have this within caucus, and I'm looking forward to that conversation.
Vous avez confiance en M. Trudeau, monsieur? Everybody's talking about asking Mr. Trudeau to resign.
No.
Do you still support him as leader, Mr. Trudeau?
Yes.
And what do you think about what's happening, the efforts to push him out?
I don't have any further comment. Thank you.
I stand with my leader, the Prime Minister. We've done great work, and it's important that we continue these conversations, and what happens at caucus stays at caucus.
Have you seen the letter? Have people approached you?
No. But those conversations stay in caucus. I think it's very important. Like, as friends, we have conversations, and so that's why caucus is very important that we attend, but I stand with my Prime Minister.
So you don't think you should step down?
Je comprends pas trop votre message sur la PDG de Radio-Canada. Vous dites qu'elle a facturé 6 000 $ aux contribuables, mais c'est pas tout à fait exact.
Allez voir au comité, là, c'est intéressant.
Elle a dit que c'était pas pendant ses vacances qu'elle a facturé ces frais-là.
Elle a dit qu'elle était pendant ses vacances. Allez voir au comité, tout est là.
Non, elle a dit qu'elle était en vacances, puis que pendant les Jeux olympiques à Paris, elle était... Ben, je l'ai dit.